Hello, this is Sheshachalam from Astroguide Mysore. So today we are trying to learn Bahudravyarjana Yoga. Bahu means lots. Dravya means wealth, materialistic accumulation, amassing wealth. Dravyarjana means amassing materialistic luxuries, wealth, jewels, property, all that can be valued, you know. Dravyarjana Yoga, the combination. So that's why I have written lot and lots of wealth. It's a very simple yoga, but let us see whether it applies to the ascendants, all the 12 ascendants. We'll just talk it slowly. So, I have earlier done one yoga called as the cyclic Dhana Yoga. If you people can search that particular video, there are two videos for cyclic Dhana Yoga. I think video number 422, 422 will give you a detailed explanation with an example, illustration. So, that's a cyclic Dhana Yoga in which the ascendant lord, the second lord and the 12th lord is involved. So all the three, 12, 1 and 2. So that has not been referred in any book. It has been referred in earlier texts, but not with a strong reference. But this is a very clear reference. That clear reference has been given for this particular yoga in many of the epics and texts. So that's why the Sanskrit name. I have not put cyclic Dhana Yoga here, but this is also a cyclic Dhana Yoga. So this also comes under cyclic Dhana Yoga. So what is the cyclic thing here? We have three planets here: the ascendant lord, the second lord, and the 11th lord. For any given ascendant, this is a generalistic statement now. But the intensity of the yoga will depend on each ascendant and the lordship of the planets, the second lord and the 11th lord. See, every planet will not have a single lordship until and unless it is moon and sun. So, we will come to that particular ascendant and yoga also. So, here the simple thing is the placements are that the ascendant lord has to be placed in the second house. So it has to move forward from the ascendant to the second house. The second lord will go to the 11th house. The 11th house is the Labhasthana. Second house is the Dhanasthana. That is, second house represents wealth, accumulation of valued articles, wealth, jewels, everything is seen in the second house. And the 11th house is Labha, profit. That is Purvarjita. That is, whatever has come from ancestral property, you will make profits out of it. Let's say you have given your building for a rent, or your some investments are giving you, FDs are giving you interest. So that is not where you have sweat. It will come because of your earlier karma. So you have done something for the past 10 years and you are reaping the benefits now. That is called Labha. But every day to day, if you earn something, is called Dhana, that is seen in the second house. So, when the ascendant lord goes to the second house, the second lord goes to the 11th house, and the 11th lord goes to the ascendant. This particular cycle is complete. But bear in mind, the 11th lord is considered as a malefic in many lagnas, many ascendants. Not in all ascendants, in many ascendants. And I will show you how. So let us go from one ascendant to another ascendant. Let us first take up ascendant. Number 1 is Aries. So we are here, the second lord is Venus. So the Venus, when it is placed here, Venus, second lord going to the 11th house, ascendant lord going to the second house, that is Mars, and the 11th lord Saturn going to the ascendant. Now, see the complications. As immediately I wrote this, the complications will arise. So what are those complications? The Lagna lord going to the second house. That is, Mars is going into its enemy sign. The second lord going to the 11th house, friendly sign. Venus is transporting itself into a friendly sign, and it has moved 10 houses. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 10 houses, karma. Then the 11th lord going to the ascendant, moving into the ascendant. Here we can see that Saturn gets debilitated. So does this yoga have a lot of strength? No. This yoga is a moderate yoga for Aries. They will make a lot of money, but they will also, spend it for roga. That is, for diseases which have got, the person acquires when the 11th lord, that is the 6th from the 6th. The 6th house is Virgo, and from Virgo 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6th from the 6th, Rogat, Rogasthana Shani, when it is sitting in the Lagna, debilitated, so the person might spend in his old age for his own difficulties, discomforts. So Dhana Yoga is there. It is not that this Bahudravyarjana Yoga is, it's not working at all. It will work. See, one thing is,
it's average.
It is average. So one thing you should understand, in our B.V. Raman's, enormous, he has a huge collection of, he has published a lot of books. I have most of the books we have gone through. Very beautifully he tells one point when we come to the 11th house. The ways and means in which a person earns is seen by the 11th house and the position of the 11th lord. Whether it is ethical, whether it is forceful, whether it is karmically accepted, whether it is not accepted, is to be seen. So here you can understand that a debilitation of the 11th lord and might show that there might be some difficulty in maintaining ethics. So I'm not telling Aries people are bad or anything like that, nothing like that, but still there might be some obligations in which the person might get bound. So this is how this yoga is to be seen. So let us go to the next one, that is Taurus. For Taurus, the ascendant lord Venus is to be placed in the second house. So if this becomes the first house, then Venus has to be placed here. Next, the second lord Mercury has to be placed in the 11th house. Funny that for the first two ascendants itself, the second lord or the 11th lord is getting debilitated. So the second lord goes to the 11th house and the 11th lord goes to the first house. Again, you can see that Jupiter is an enemy, but the second lord and the Lagnadipati are friends here. Other than the earlier thing, they were enemies. Here they are friends. But what has happened is Mercury has got debilitated. Once again, the yoga is not fully, forcefully in what we call as application. It is not fully applied. So let us go ahead. Let us see which particular lagna gives you complete Bahudravyarjana yoga. So it's a little, when I'm doing many ascendants, I may do mistakes. So please, if at all I am doing any mistake, please tell me. Yeah. So she will always be there. That's right. So I'll put this here. This is the first house. And the first lord, Mercury, now goes to the second. The second lord, Moon, gets placed in the 11th. And the 11th lord, Mars, gets placed here. So this is how it is for Gemini ascendant. Mercury loves this house. Extraordinary placement for Mercury. We call this as Vak Yoga or Vachali. So the word Vak or voice is when the Lagnadipati being Mercury in the second house, that too in the Karkataka Rashi, that is Cancer, gives excellent speech. And because of that, this yoga is very powerful. And we can see that we have two fast moving planets and they make a lot of money here. This is for Dravya, liquid cash, profits. So second lord going to the 11th house, this makes a lot of money. And again, the 11th lord going to the first house gives the motivation, the force, the drive to earn. So people who don't have the drive to earn, if they have a lot of Dana Yoga, they'll be happy in whatever they are. They will feel that they are rich. It's not like this here. They will make money. They'll make a lot of money. So going to the next ascendant, if I take this as the first house, the first lord, ascendant lord going to the second house, that is moon is placed in Leo. Second lord going to the 11th house. Then the 11th lord going to the first house. Venus is always said to be uncomfortable in Karkataka Rashi or Cancer. Venus, Mercury in certain cases, but that was the second house for the ascendant. So that was not an uncomfortable position for Mercury because it loves to mint money. It loves to count money. It loves to amass money. Mercury is a hungry person for wealth, but depends on how it is posited. Hungry in the sense that he is not always unethically hungry, but that motivation will be there that he has to become wealthy, grow big. Nothing wrong. He will find ways. He is a dualistic sign, very fast. So here in this case, what is happening is that most of the planets, except for Moon, which is sitting in its neutral house, for Moon, Sun is okay. It's a neutral. They are all both, Queen and the King. They are okay with the placement. But Venus is not that well placed, and Sun is also not that well placed. But Sun, we tell that is good when it is placed in 3, 6, 10, 11, Upachaya Sthana. So being a malefic in Upachaya Sthana, it will give a lot of money in this particular position. I have not touched the Lordship. I will touch the Lordship once I come into the other Lagnas. You will understand the other perspective also because I have not touched that till now. I'll come to that point because it will become a very big video or else. So let me come to that point in this particular ascendant. You'll understand because single lordships are there, no? In this one lordship, there is also one lordship. So I'll go to multiple lordships, then you'll understand. The first lord, Sun, going to the second house. A good placement because it's friendly house. The second lord going to the 11th house. See the fantastic placement of this. Own sign. And the 11th lord should be in the ascendant. It doesn't happen at all. Then what should we do? Is this Dana Yoga complete? Obviously it is complete. It is totally complete. The first lord going to the second house, the second lord going to the 11th house, and the 11th lord itself being the ascendant lord, or in the second lord, which cannot go into the ascendant. 11th lord is placed in the 11th house. It cannot be, you can't have two Mercuries. Put one in the 11th and then again put a mirror image here. You can't do that. So the second lord and the 11th lord being the same. This is a very peculiar placement. That is why the lordships are important. So for the Leo ascendant, this is one of the biggest Raja Yogas. One of the biggest Raja Yogas. So they give very good money. Will this really happen? Will this really happen? I am just explaining all the way around. It cannot happen at all. And why doesn't it happen? If anybody can go through that, why doesn't it happen? The earlier case also, we will now reiterate and go back. We will retrack. Now we will understand what mistake we have been doing. Let us go back. Now people who have seen only this till this part of the video will think that sir is teaching something wrong. Let me go back. You will now understand what I am trying to tell. For this ascendant, the planets involved were Mercury, Moon, and 11th Lord Mars. No problem. For this ascendant, the planets involved were Moon going to the second house, Sun going to the 11th house, and the 11th Lord's Venus coming here. So no problem. Venus and Sun can be in this distance. No problem. Sun and Venus can be here. There's no problem at all. But when I come here, I can see that Sun placed in the second house. How on earth, not on earth, how in the universe or in the solar system, Mercury can go this far away from Sun? It is impossible. So, that's what I was trying to write.
If Mercury goes to its Leo sign, what could happen?
I will come there. It's a fantastic question. That is what I wanted to answer. That is where the crux of astrology comes into play. It doesn't happen to Leo because Mercury cannot be posited in the 11th house. But, ma'am is fast here. That is what, you keep practicing, you will understand what actually, where it hits. What if this happens? This is an extremely strong, that is why I told for Leo, you get one of the strongest Raja Yogas with Sun and Mercury. Sun being the ascendant lord in the second house, the second lord in the ascendant qualifies Bahudravyarjana Yoga because Mercury plays two roles, being the 11th lord in the ascendant and also the second lord in the ascendant. So double role he is playing. That is why lordships are very important whenever you see yogas. So people, please don't stop in a place, tell that, oh, he's teaching something rubbish, and then stop it. I am purposefully doing it to make you people understand that don't get carried away with the placements. It doesn't happen sometimes. So this is the yoga which is one of the best yogas for Leo ascendant. So let us go to the next ascendant. We'll go to Virgo now. Out of all the Dhana yogas till now, Leo was number one till now. Let us go here. Lagnadipati, Mercury going to the second house. The second lord going to the 11th house. This can happen. This can happen because if Sun is here, it can happen. So 48 degrees, 28 degrees. This is the limit, 48 and 28. So the Sun in this case has to be posited somewhere in between and here. So let us then go take the 11th lord and put it here. Moon. One of the best yogas, but still once again, Venus doesn't like this position and Moon doesn't like this position. So this particular yoga will give a lot of wealth, but it is moderate because the mind will not be very strong here. The motivation, what I said in Gemini, is not existing here. It's a very soft yoga. They will have a lot of dreams, but very less practical implication. Wavering mind, fluctuating mind. So, going to the next ascendant, that is of Libra. So, I'll take this as the first house. So, Venus going to the second house. The second lord Mars going to Leo and Sun being debilitated. Once again, this is possible because it is very close to Venus. It is possible. This particular combination can happen. But is this strong? It's not that strong. But the placement of Mars is playing a key role here because it aspects the fourth aspect, that is the second house. It fortifies the second house and hence it will give a lot of money to this particular native. So this is also a strong yoga, but with the less confidence. Confidence is less because Sun is debilitated. See, people, we tell confidence is less, but what actually is happening here in my practice, I have seen that when the strength of sun goes down, uh, there is a different kind of a egoistic problem in that person. He's not ready to accept, but he will never fight. That's the problem. You can understand how difficult it is for him. He's not ready to accept the situation, but he is not having the will and willpower or courage to fight. But still, he'll not accept. That is, he's very stubborn. So, that is the difficulty when sun goes debilitated in the ascendant for Libra. So, let us go for the next one. So, if I take this as the first house, the first lord going to the second house, the second lord going to the 11th house, and the 11th lord coming to the ascendant.
Moderate.
It's also moderate yoga, which is okay to a certain extent, because Jupiter going to the 11th house will give extraordinary dhana. Being the 5th and the second lord, it gives very good money, because the 5th lord, when it is involved with this particular line, it is good. But still, once again, it is moderate. And why it is moderate is because Mercury is not only the 11th lord, it is also the 8th lord. So when the 8th lord comes into the ascendant, it will put blockages in the person's mind. He will always feel dissatisfied. So if this person will be able to control his thought process and tell that, yes, I am now satisfied with what I am doing and I am happy, then he will make a lot of money. So that conversion, or what we call as transformation, it takes a lot of years. So that's one thing. So let us now go to Sagittarius. So taking this as the ascendant lord goes to the second house, the second lord goes to the 11th house, again it is exalted. So this comes here, that is Venus. We can see that the ascendant lord gets debilitated, but the second lord gets exalted, and we have a cyclic dhana yoga, which is a Bahudravyarjana yoga, which is kind of moderate but also very strong. And why is it strong? It's moderate but also strong with regard to the placement. Why? Because this Saturn is aspecting the ascendant, and in turn Jupiter is aspecting the 10th house. So the person will work hard, become very rich. He will work hard. He will not be waiting for easy money. Saturn does not give you easy money. You have to work hard. You have to have a big company or a factory or a manufacturing unit, and you will have lots of people working under you, and you will make a lot of money. Making money is not wrong until unless you are following the right ethics and it is useful for the social, framework. So this is a strong yoga.
This yoga will work more in the Saturn period.
Yeah, this yoga will work more in the Saturn period, yes.
Compared to Jupiter.
If provided that this person goes through that particular, Dasha Bhukti pattern.
The right age.
The right age, correct. Let us go into this particular ascendant. So, the Lagnadipati, Saturn, going to the second house, fantastic. In the own house. The second lord, now where should I put the second lord? I can't put the second lord in the 11th house. The Lagnadipati is the second lord. The lordship problem. So now the 11th lord, Mars, if I put it here. So one of the strongest yogas, you have again got another strongest yoga in Capricorn. So when you have lordship conflicts, in Leo you had Mercury having lord of being second and the 11th, and in Capricorn you have the lord, Lagna lord itself being the second lord, and we have used, Mars as the 11th lord getting exalted, fantastically exalted, and this is in Mula Trikona. He will live like a king. Yeah, real estate, mining, petroleum, factories, big foundries. Huge, huge. This fellow will be rich. Extraordinary rich. It's a very strong yoga. But other things are also there, When Mars is there, he'll be very aggressive, blunt in his behavior. Let it be rude in his behavior, but a good man. A good man or a good woman, he or she will be forceful, but nice people. They do a lot of money. They will make fantastic riches. So now moving on to Aquarius. Again, the difficulty, you will understand it here. See, the first, we have Saturn here, we have Jupiter here, and what to do? You can't do anything here. But still, this is a Parivartana Yoga. Saturn in Jupiter's house and Jupiter is in Saturn's house. No, it does not happen. This will be Parivartana Yoga if Jupiter is here and not here. So we have two placements of Jupiter, which both will satisfy this. The 11th Lord sitting in the Ascendant, this is satisfied. Once again, extraordinary, very strong yoga, because Aquarius, Jupiter loves this sign. He gives a lot of stability to this sign. And this also is a very, very strong yoga. The 11th Lord in the 11th house, and it being the Karaka for the 11th house, giving a lot of profit. And Lagnadipati going to the 7th house. So both, this is Parivartana Yoga, Rashi Parivartana Yoga, and this is also.
Wherever Saturn is involved, a lot of hard work will be there.
Yeah, hard work will be there, yes.
And there will be, it'll get the later half.
That's what, slow and steady. They'll make a lot of money. So, number 3, we'll put Aquarius here, which is also very good and qualifies for one of the topmost ranks of Bahudravyarjana Yoga. So, last Ascendant for today's discussion is Pisces. The Ascendant Lord going to the 2nd house. The 2nd Lord, see this particular yoga, this is the topmost yoga I am giving now. The 2nd Lord going to the 11th house and the 11th Lord going to the Ascendant. This is number 1 of all the yogas. 10th Lord in 2nd, 10th Lord in the 2nd house. You can see that. 9th Lord in the 11th house. What a fantastic yoga. 12th, 11th and 12th in this very humble being. Very rich. Very humble and very rich. One of the strongest yogas because the connect is there. The 4th aspect of Mars. The connect is there once again here. The 9th aspect of Jupiter. This is one of the strongest yogas also because the connect of Saturn, the 10th aspect of Saturn. This is the 10th house, the Karma Sthana. So we have a lot of houses getting involved here. And this person is one of the best in acquiring money because he is the real king. So the Raja Yogas, this is the best for Pisces. So for Pisces Ascendant, this particular yoga is the best, the number 1. So Bahudravyarjana Yoga is not only making money, it is having a family, a rich heritage, a lineage. It's something like he or she will become a legend for that particular community, society, the country, or even globally. Thank you very much for today's class.